Chair recognizes Representative Zemke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can I yield some of my time to Representative Robinson? Yes.
The chair recognizes the Honorable Representative Zemke.
Thank you, I guess. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just going to thank you in advance for leniency on the time, because I'm actually not certain if you're in the speech anywhere else. Up until 6th grade, I was always last. I was last in line, last to get my seating assignment, and last to be paired off for kickball in gym. That is until Trevor Zoe showed up, and suddenly I was second to last. Today, I think I'm 6th, so you got 5 more after me. I spent 6 years listening to these speeches and often have wondered what I would say, if I even decided to say anything, and whom I would forget to mention. I also wondered if I would hold the year's record for as long as John Alumba. Turns out, Fred Durhall beat me to it. This place has been a very interesting place to grow up. Like only a small number of us, I came here a 20-something, where many came here after spending long careers elsewhere. Myself, Kniezek, LaFontaine, Foster, Fred, Vanessa, Lee, Mr. Speaker, Darren, Abdullah, Joel, and many others came here after a very short amount of time, or shorter relatively, in the real world. I have to say that it is very much unlike any place I've spent time working previously. If for no other reason that I leave here with my metabolism being still strong enough to burn off the freshman 15 that has fluctuated but never really gone away, and that I leave here with still most of the hair that I came in on. I know that we all have been asked this question by constituents in our districts. Would you do it all over again? I am proud to unequivocally say absolutely, even being exclusively in the minority for the 6 years that I've been here. I really hope everyone here has an opportunity to serve in both the minority and the majority in some public capacity. Both provide us with a piece of humble pie that serves us well from time to time. There are a couple of events that always inspire this thought. I'll never forget the night when my predecessor, a Republican named Rick Olson, came up to my desk just back here while we were waiting for bills to be finished so that we could vote on them. He said to me, "Pay attention tonight. This type of thing doesn't happen very often." That night was less than 6 months into my first year, and those bills happened to expand Medicaid and create Healthy Michigan. I personally knew about as much about health insurance as any healthy millennial at the time, meaning not very much, but would come to understand the impact of that legislation months later while campaigning for our friend, Teresa Abed. It was a hot summer day, and the doors were so far apart in the area we were canvassing that the campaign manager and I were driving between them. We pulled up to a small brick bungalow in the middle of some cornfields with a rusty Jeep in the drive. I hopped out and ran up to the door just in time to be greeted by a gentleman who was in his 60s. I told him why I was there, handed him a piece of her literature, and figured I'd be on my way before asking if he had any questions for her. As he flipped the lid over, something caught his eye, and he asked, "Healthy Michigan, did she vote for it?" Now, we've all been to doors where only one topic comes up. And in my experience, those doors tend to not end very well. Being that Obamacare, as some of you have eloquently termed it, wasn't quite as popular at the time, this man's question gave me pause. I answered him honestly, "Yes, she did, sir," and started to explain a bit, at which point he cut me off and said, "Let me tell you something. I'm a machinist. I work in a small shop, and a few months ago I couldn't see straight and was scrapping so much material that my boss told me the company would pay to get my vision checked. I didn't have health insurance. That trip to the doctor showed me that the reason I couldn't see was because there was a tumor in my head and it was pushing against the back of my eyes, causing my vision to blur. Thank God it wasn't cancerous. I went back to work afterwards because I didn't have the money to get it taken out. And then one day I heard an advertisement for this Healthy Michigan program. I applied, found out I qualified, and had the tumor taken out. It saved my job. It saved my life. And if your friend voted for it, I'll always vote for her. It's a true story. It blew me away. Couldn't believe it. I'll also never forget May 22nd of 2014. It could be because it was the night that I went to Detroit and got robbed, or the night that Kelly, who's my girlfriend, ended her 5-month cooling off period after I said something semi-obnoxious to her during our first encounter. It was also the night that movement on this floor literally stopped, and we all clapped following the passage of the bankruptcy legislation that changed the trajectory of Detroit and subsequently all of Michigan. Whenever I'm asked would I do it all over again, knowing what I know now, I can't help but think of these events. Democracy was alive and well in those moments, and we as a people need more of them desperately. Government can and should be the force for good for all of the seniors who are trying to figure out how to pay for their home, their auto insurance, and their prescription drug bills. Representative Tice, your story was very valid. For those who thought they were doing pretty well until they figured out they had to choose between saving for their kids' college or putting their kid in daycare today. And especially for those who don't have any bootstraps by which to pull themselves up. Please do not forget that these problems for all these people are very real, and please act on fixing them. So let me get to some thank yous. God knows I owe a lot of people more than thanks for everything that's been done. How am I doing on time, Fred? I am so proud to have been elected by the people of my hometown to serve them here for the past 6 years. To all of you in Washtenaw County, and especially all of you who have come to coffee hours and ales with Adam, thank you. You have bestowed me an honor that I will never forget. I'd be remiss if I didn't start off with my bro-row colleagues, Durhall and Greimel. You'll always be my brothers. I love you more than you'll ever know. I also want to apologize to Leader Singh, Floor Leader Gregg, and Jack Schmidt for all of the problems we've caused you. It really was a terrible idea to let us sit it together. Thank you to all of the Democratic policy staff members I've worked with, especially Kafian Hawthorne, Joe Clark, Emily Schwarzkopf, Rachel Richards, Cynthia Paul, and Dan Feinberg. A special shout out to Dan, who has been both a huge pain in my side and also gained a ton of my respect. Your words on literacy will never be forgotten and really made 4822 what it was. I would be remiss if I didn't add in Republican staff members Stephanie Bogema, Jake McLaughlin, Pete Wills, Eric Greggs, Matt Schuler, and especially Jason Mancini. Jason, Feinberg drove me more nuts than you did most of the time. And thank you to John Roberts, Tyler Saar, Robbie Jameson, Darren Ackerman, Michelle Lang, Karen McPhee, and Sally Durfee. All of you are incredibly intelligent, talented individuals, and our government is better because of your service. Chief Dixon, Fawn, Don, John, Lauren, Ted, Jeffrey, Brian, Scott, Randy, and Chris, thank you for always keeping us safe. Clerks Randall and Brown, and all of you who do the tireless work in committee, and especially after we leave session, thank you. To everyone in the House Business Office, I cannot apologize enough for constantly turning in my SOC schedules late. Thank you for what you do. Mary Ann Cleary, Bethany Wixall, and Samuel Christensen. I took 5 complex mathematics courses in college, and I still feel like an idiot around you. You guys are amazing. Thank you to Alice. I literally could not function around here without you. Thank you to Joelle, Ryan, and Sarah. Ditto. Thank you to our band, Todd Cook, Jason Ellenberg, Courtney Goddard, Hillary Kipp, and Katie Carey. I wouldn't wanted to have gone through the 2016 election with anyone else. To Brian and Brad, Josie Rones, Libby, Ron, Ray, Desmond, Emily, and Jeremy, you all are my work rocks. The people of the 55th District are lucky to have you, and they tell me this a lot, and I am forever grateful. Thank you to John Walsh and Tommy Stallworth for showing us all what statesmen really look like. And thank you for saving Detroit, and in many ways, saving us all. Thank you to Governor Snyder, whom I've had the pleasure of having served as a boss and a constituent. Thank you to the Capitol Press Corps. Your work is crucial to the maintenance of our democracy, and I appreciate you. You know, it's interesting when you find yourself defending some of your colleagues on one issue and then eviscerating them on another. I've learned that in many times, some of the best friends we have are frenemies. In that vein, thank you to Eileen Weiser, Daniela Garcia, and Tim Kelly. I find our conversations to be extraordinarily interesting and also aggravating at times, and I've enjoyed pissing you off as much as getting along. Thank you to Amanda Price. There are few people around here who have ever brought me to tears, and you are one of them. I know we will forever disagree on the means to an end, but I always respect your intelligence, sincerity, and heart. Thank you to Kevin Hertel, Andy Shore, Jeremy Moss, and Robert Wittenberg for being lifelong, steadfast friends. Jeremy, I hope your next committee seatmate looks at you like I do. And Robert, making you stand on the side of US 2 in a snowy night to take that picture with my old car still does not compare to the headaches you caused us with your gun bills. Thank you to Frank Liberati and David LeGrand. You are both wonderful dads with huge hearts. To Brandon Dillon, you are a great friend, and I wore this sweater today just for you. Thank you to Rosemary Robinson. Happy birthday. You always voted with me when I needed you, heard me out when I asked, and remarked about my tight pants, which have gotten tighter. I still want to buy your new hipster constituents that keg of beer and talk policy sometime. Thank you to my good friend Bill Lavoie. It broke my heart to have to sit next to you on the floor the day after you lost, and it pissed me off to no end that we couldn't claim Darren as a true pickup because of it. Thank you to Sherry and all the members of the Detroit caucus, past and present. Because of you, I have learned about the heart that your community has for its people. It's inspiring and exciting, and I owe you a debt that I won't forget. Thank you to all my brothers and sisters from Macomb, especially Yanez and Shurkin. I do not understand your politics, and I probably never will. To Mike McCready, I'll never forget when Art and Brad introduced us over lunch at that extremely dark and dingy place in Birmingham. I knew then what I know now, that you're a great guy who thinks with his heart and his head. Jason Shepard, it's been an honor to share Milan with you, brother. Make sure that you introduced all of Zorn's bills and actually get yours signed into law. To Gretchen, David, Yusuf, Donna, Ronnie, and Jeff, it has been an honor to serve our county alongside of you. Thank you. Al Pashoka once told us all in approps that he hoped we visited a prison at some point during the term. That was an excellent grounding piece of advice and one that I hope everyone in this chamber heeds. I will add that I also hope everyone here spends some time really talking with the people in the Upper Peninsula. I am forever grateful to Scott, John, Sarah, and Ed for advocating so fiercely for your peninsula, making sure that we meet all of your people and understand their issues. Our trips there have been one of the highlights of the past 6 years. Thank you, Superintendent Whiston, Wendy, Caroline, Stephen, Leah, and Ben. Thank you for all of your work at the department. Though we have not all been on the same page, I know you come from good places in your advocacy for education. Thank you to Paul Muxlow, Aaron Shore, and Rose Belanca. You showed me what the 28 Michigan community colleges really do for our communities, something I'm forever grateful for. Ron Motzinger and Steve Gulick, Thank you for taking the time to help a 27-year-old with a Justin Bieber haircut really understand collective bargaining. Thank you to David Hecker, Doug Pratt, Bill Rogers, John Kennedy, Scott Menzel, Scott Graydon, Chris Timmis, and Brian Gearbaugh. You've provided me with opportunity and reasonably minded counsel for the entire time I've been here, and I deeply appreciate it. To Bob Kefchin, Christina Canfield, and Margaret O'Brien. You showed me that grit, determination, strategy, and sticking with your friends will get you to your goal. I will never forget our 3-year battle on evals and will always consider you among my most trusted friends. And before a few personal thank yous, the best of the last in the words of Afendoulis, the great Afendoulis and the great Yanez. Thank you to all of you here in this chamber and to all of you who advocate, either in the lobby, at home in our communities, or elsewhere in the state. If I didn't name you by name, it's only because I had to shave time so that I didn't run as long as Fred. But your work has immeasurable value to those of us who are not experts on every one of your issues. And you serve a critical role. I appreciate you. Now I want to conclude with some personal thank yous to my closest friends, largely people who knew me before I came here. Robbie Ducati, Lankus, and Scraps, I appreciate your friendship and support more than I can ever say. Our experiences building race cars formed the decision-making process I've engaged here, and I would not be the person I am without you. To Jason, Travis, Anna, Lauren, Fletcher, Kyle, Megan, and neighbor Mike, it's been an honor to be your friend. To the Nader and Colston families, it's been an honor to work with you for so many years. I am proud to consider you friends. To Team Dingle, Donofrio, Labar, Dobies, Karen, Peter, Ashley, Callie, and especially Mr. and Congresswoman Dingle, you have always treated me as a member of the team, though I was only an honorary one. I am forever grateful for your friendship. To Dave Holden, rest in peace, and thank you for everything that you taught me. When we first met, I thought we would never agree on anything, but you ended up always having my back. I'll never forget it. To my mom and dad, sisters and brothers, thank you for all of the parade volunteering, the door knocking, and the constant support. I would not be here without you, and I do not say thank you enough. To Lee, your text message during church one morning got me into this whole mess, and I sometimes still curse your name. But you're also like a big brother to me, and I appreciate you more than you know. To Kelly, you are my rock. I am not an easy person to get along with. I think most of you know that, let alone live with, and I'm amazed that you've stuck with me as long as you have. We went on an interesting journey over the past few months, and I am excited about many more to come. I am forever grateful to you and Emma for giving me the chances that you do to show how much I care. I love you. To paraphrase the great artist of my time, Macklemore, acquaintances turn to friend and friends turn to family. We all have family that we may agree with or disagree with at times, or that we may talk with a little or talk with a lot. This chamber is a microcosm of that. I will cherish the times that we've had together, and I really look forward to those that will come in the future. We've only got 5 speeches left. Best of luck, and I'll see you later.